Audience feedback played a huge part in my development process. The first bit of audience feedback was done before I'd even started my short film, doing surveys and interviews in order to develop my initial idea so that it fit with convention. Within this initial feedback, I was able to see exactly what my audience wanted from the film. For example, letting me develop a binary opposition view for male versus female, by alerting me to the fact that they liked the idea of gender playing a role within the film, which is something that I tried to explore with my initial ideas anyway. This research also seemed to narrow down my audience of people who watch short films, prompting me to research further using film festivals as an example to see what types of audience to appease with the film. Within my initial interview, I was given many helpful insights into people's views on the ideas that I proposed, and was able to narrow down to my final idea.
The love story idea seems extremely fake. I wouldn't be able to believe the story quite easily. You'd have to get the entire environment right and then really good actors to do for it to be enjoyable. The bakery idea itself is interesting, and I'd like to see how you could develop it to mask a plot twist or something. It feels kind of very open-ended to how it would be done.
Yeah, I think the love story is really good. I think it's a really good idea, but I just think that it's going to be really hard to find actors. It's quite like an intimate scene, so that's going to be hard to do. And with the bakery, I think that could be really good because you can do so much of that. But again, just finding the right actors is going to be a challenge, I think.
So like the idea of a bakery seems to work really well for me. I think it's an interesting context and sort of like diverts the expectations of like the happy atmosphere of like cakes and like bakeries that like it usually gives me, and then it like the love story idea seems like too real and not something that I would like usually enjoy watching. Also, I think you'd have to get it like near perfect for it to be like believable at all, and I think you probably wouldn't get that in like a school environment.
This helped me develop my narrative further and incorporate several ideas given within the interview into scenes in the future. This was ideal as there was an audience that already knew that they liked the idea, so it'd be easy to appeal to a larger amount of people. After having done my first draft, I carried out a questionnaire to gain some insight into what people thought about the film and what they thought needed adjusting. This gave me some valuable insight into what my audience actually wanted from the film and how things should change for the final draft. It also helped me develop my technical skills, rating my level of camera quality, editing and sound. These were vital in my efforts to create a short film. However, my audience's feedback helped explain what changes needed to be made.
To improve, I think that you could maybe like pick up the poison covering the ingredients and then maybe show, I know, some sort of like skull and crossbones just to highlight the fact that it is actually poison, so it kind of gives the audience a clear idea of what it actually is. Or maybe the cake making scene itself was a bit mundane, so maybe you could like speed up that process so you're not just holding on for ages.
I thought the film overall was really good, but I feel like you focus too much on making the cakes, because we don't really need to see like everything she does if we just get a general idea of what she's doing at the beginning. And I also think there needs to be a lot more variation of shot sizes, so like use different angles and stuff, just create more variation to make it more interesting overall.
You need to make it obvious where like why he's died and like about like the note and stuff, and make it clear like that's like the poison. I think just like adding more shots would make it really good. I think make the like deadly ingredients just sound more like apparent, because I think sometimes I didn't quite get it, but of course it makes more sense like when you see the ending. Apart from that, like the plot twist was really good, and like I like get it. Yeah, it's good.
These helped me develop my ideas into a much better final draft that felt like it was fitting for my short film. For my second draft, the feedback I got was largely to do with small amendments to my film. However, there was one drastic change that I had to make. Much of my audience was put off by the fact that my actor kept changing clothes in several shots, which could be an easy fix for my final film, as well as some coloring issues which could be fixed within post-production as well. However, one issue that my audience picked up on was the fact that my plot didn't make much sense for the setting that I set my film in. As I set my film in a kitchen and used a plot of a bakery, it didn't make much sense as a parallel to the working class. And so I had two choices. One was to try and find a bakery to refilm the entire film, or two, to create a new plot with a new story and try and reshoot the entire film. I chose to reshoot the entire film as I felt this was the easiest way to do it, and also I could reuse shots from my old film within it using the same actors. Due to time constraints, I wasn't able to get my old actor to film for my new short film. However, this meant that I had to get a new main character, which allowed me to refilm shots that I wasn't best pleased with in my second draft. I feel the audience received the new actor much better and the new plot, as well as it made more sense to my short film setting, and also made sense in the long run for the whole plot in general.